to the clean shots and the firepower and the speed of Kambosos, especially for the first 6 rounds. And he did it really well. I mean, it's funny, like those kind of nights can really just give you the confidence to realise that you're a world-class fighter. I mean, George Kambosos is a world-class fighter. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And it was a very competitive fight. I thought it was 116, 112, 115, 113. I thought it was, yeah, I thought 117, 111 is very harsh, to be honest with you. I thought some of the scorecards were weird tonight. I've just been looking at the cards, but yeah, I thought it was a brilliant fight. I thought George looked razor sharp early, and then Jake just came on strong and, you know, done an amazing job.
What do you think you can do with a guy like Jake Wyllie? He called for a contract with you?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, like Jake Wyllie was supposed to be fighting in 2 weeks' time. I mean, the one thing which I will say, and listen, I shouldn't be talking it down because it will affect me, but the purses for Australian fighters are awful, right? And he was due to fight in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. And I saw his contract, and the money was disgusting. But not disgusting for the market, do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that it was out of place. It was just that I can't believe what the fighters here get paid. Like, part of me, I'm quite jealous. Do you know what I mean? Because if I was paying that kind of money to fighters, wow, our company would be worth 10 times what it is. So the key now for Jake is to, like, you know, you're never gonna, unless you do something really, really special, in Australian boxing, you can't actually financially secure your future unless you get to world level. So tonight, he made a massive payday. Not enough to live off for life, but to put himself financially in a great position. Now we've got to go back, and like the only way you can make money is to basically fight overseas. So we're trying to build a structure here where we can grow the sport big enough where actually the fighters can make decent money and they don't just have to gamble abroad to make a decent payday. And I'm a bit of a soft touch. Like, I love the kid. I'm in love with Jake Wyllie already. And I'm just looking at him thinking, what a story. I mean, great, Kambosos got the win, we'll make the Hitchins fight. But I'm also looking at Jake Wyllie, looking at social media, wow, what a nice kid, what a fighter. But he's 24. Like, he's, you know, and what impressed me was standing up to the shots. That was the key for me. Because you can be a puncher and you can have a great engine, but if you can't take a shot. But as the fight went, his confidence started growing and growing. And in the 12th round, he was fresh as a daisy. I've never seen anything like it. 5 days notice. I mean, I know he was fighting in 3 weeks, but I just couldn't believe his engine. It's unbelievable.
Did George need to show more tonight? Was there sort of vulnerability there?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think George has done it all. So I think he's proven his credentials. I think it's very difficult sometimes when you come in 5 days notice, you're fighting Jordan, now you're fighting some young Australian, you know, and it's like 6 rounds in, it's getting tough, you've had a clash of heads, you've got a bad cut, you're thinking, blimey, I'm supposed to be fighting Hitchins in 13 weeks, and that is the date, and it's not movable. And that's now the challenge for George, because it's not push it back 3 or 4 weeks, that is the date. No, I thought he boxed well, but he just come up against a young kid who was really the last 3 or 4 rounds where Wyllie really come on strong. And no, I thought he looked very sharp early.
We talk a lot about Australian spirit. We've got a small population, even smaller viewing audience. Do you think it's the spirit that's making us so big on the world stage at the moment?
Well, I mean, for the viewership that you're getting, to have the amount of shows that you're having and the amount of quality world-class fighters that you've got, it's quite amazing. You know, I'm really interested to see how this DAZN Foxtel deal plays out, because I want to do, you know, you really need these shows going to bigger audiences. You know, everything's behind a paywall. I mean, tonight was not pay-per-view, but basically every other show is pay-per-view. I mean, what was Brock Jarvis against Keith Thurman? $80? $70. You know, I mean, how are you going to grow a young fighter behind a paywall all the time? So I don't know what the answer is, but I love it. I love being I love the energy of the people. I think you've got tremendous fighters. You're just like us. You like live sport, you like a night out, you like a beer, and you like a punch up. So, you know, there you go. Sorry, nice. That's a civil war.
Didn't really want a Sydney wall. We wanted like an early Sydney finish, but
that's a credit to
that's not the
the
case.
Australian champion. The credit to a kid that was fighting in 2 weeks. This was his moment. You know, when you have these guys that have their moment, it's they're going to do everything they can, but it's that little bit extra. Well, being there, that experience. You know, the first 4 or 5 rounds was brilliant. Good, he's got a nice, strong head, good head clash, and then kind of, you know, mindset straight away went, well, we've got Hitchins soon, so what's going to happen?
And he fought out of his skin. You give the kid an opportunity, he fights out of his skin.
We'll be good in 2 weeks.
Like I said, credit to him. I even give you a little sneaky one around the back and said, listen, you've got to sign this, buddy. Mate, you know what? That is a hell of a performance from the kid.
George, was that the perfect preparation, toughness-wise, for belief against Hitchins? To know that you're going in
way harder. This kid punched way harder than Hitchins, and we've seen it. Look, Hitchins with Lemnos, same kind of style, kid that comes tough, strong. But you saw the first 4 or 5 rounds. I was dynamic. I felt great. I was jumping around. I come to the corner, and Kambosos was back, and nice clash. You know, I kind of went a little bit away from the game plan and had to fire back. But credit to the young kid. Like I said, this is a kid that, you know, I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him, and like I said so many times, I'm here to keep building Australian boxing. I'm so happy that Eddie's come here now, and obviously Ferocious Promotions, my father, I've got a lot of good young kids, and we just want to keep
Well, I got 3 out of 3 tonight. Haven't I? 3 out of 3. How good's that? Hey? Jaden Buwan, beautifully boxed. Imam Kante went to a new level and found something new. If he wants to be a champion, and George Kambosos once again. Don't like him to go to war, but he went to war. And
there's times where I could have just moved and boxed and worked off the jab, but I love fucking going to war.
We enjoyed it.
And it was a great fight for Sydney. I think not only the fans got their you know, their money worth, but the Zone got their money worth, Matchroom got their money worth, and the Sydney fans are going to go home tonight and say, you know what a hell of a fight.
What a show, hell of a show, not just a fight.
Every fight. Imam Katayev and the tough Argentinian, oh my God, what a fight. Jaden Buwan, young kid, even Sky and the American girl.
And Sugar, I mean, she got a result.
What a card. This is a good card. So I'm proud, man. I'm happy that I didn't go in there and hit him with a good shot and put him away. Show his toughness. So on to bigger things.
There was a momentum change towards the back end of the fight. What did you tell yourself to bite down on him outguard?
Yeah, look, he picked up a little bit of confidence, but when you're fighting George Kambosos, former undisputed champion of the world, of course you're going to do everything you can. We've seen in other fights that you're going to fight every bit of yourself to try to win that fight. So, like I said, I'm proud of the kid. I'm happy for him, but I still show that, you know, there's that level of experience. Like I said, the first 4 or 5 rounds, I'll take a lot out of that. My first fight at 140, you know, I'm happy. Good 12 rounds after the Lomachenko fight, and we're keeping it forward. But first, I want to obviously forgot to say, George Foreman passing away today. You know, may he rest. He's a legend of the sport, so you know it's very, very sad to see him pass away. But I hope we gave boxing world a good fight and made the name George proud.
You mentioned first fight at 140. Did you notice the 5 pounds, like as when you're hitting a body that's 5 pounds heavier?
No, I feel good. I feel strong. Like even he lands some shots here and there, but I never felt like, oh fuck, I'm hurt. The only time was when we kind of clashed heads a few times, and that's when I was kind of like a little bit not hurt, but stressed about the blood. At one time when we clashed, there was a lot of blood. I thought, oh no, here we go. We dig deep and we win the fight. Like I said, credit to the young kid, Australian champion for a reason.
George, do you think your power translated really well to 140, or was it Jake Wyllie's head just so hard?
Oh, he was rocked a lot of times. I think I caught him a few times, and like I said, this kid's tough. He's a natural 140. He's fought his whole career at 140. He's the Australian champion, 16-1. He's knocked out, you know. Obviously, yeah, I was saying that he knocked out Plums, but he's knocked out some good guys. So I hit him with some good shots, and I'm going to keep getting better and better. Look, it's my first fight after the Lomachenko fight. Obviously, Loma caught me with a beautiful body shot in round 11. It's always hard to come back from getting stopped to, you know, bounce back in a new division. A lot of pressure on the line. Sydney show, first fight, obviously, you know, signed with Matchroom. Hitchins on the line. You know, everyone else is calling me out. You know, it's just another day in the Kambosos career now.
Do you think Hitchins would stand up to the shots that Jake did?
You know, Jake, look, different style. Hitchins is the kind of guy that likes to, you know, box and move. And I think that first 4 or 5 rounds, smart, sharp boxing, make him miss and put that smart pressure on him, give him a lot of trouble and beat him. But Hitchins not the kind of guy that I feel that we're going to clash a lot of heads. I think he's the kind of guy that's going to be moving back. So styles make fights, and I'm happy to bring a war to Sydney and Australian boxing.
And you got to understand, this kid was given an opportunity, Jake Wyllie. So the simple thing is, he stepped out of his skin. He fought the fight of his life. Because we had a look at him when we had that 5 days, and myself and Eddie had a look to see, who was around. And I said, right, when George wakes up in the morning, has his training session, we'll have a bit of a peek. So we saw him on the stand show. 2 weeks ago, he fought on the stand show, Filipino guy. Filipino guy rocked him in the second round. He rocked him, 1-2, boom, boom. Thought, you know what, kid's got no chin. And we had found something else where we got dropped on a 0-2 guy on Instagram. We found that as well. So we go, you know what, you hit this kid, you know what, you touch him and you'll fall. But you hit him, but this kid was just so much adrenaline, so much pump. He's got the biggest fight of his life in front of the big crowd, George Kambosos, healthy money. Of course, he's walking through everything. So we're going in the corner and going, well, okay, he's taking some of the shots. We need to break him down round by round. But I've heard that every time you give this kid, every time Jake was going another round, he came on stronger throughout the round. So we knew he's got a big motor, and he showed he's got a big motor tonight.
He's a good young kid, and like I said, the first 4 or 5 rounds, I was dynamic. I was jumping up and down, coming to the corner. I'm breaking him, and I could see him starting to get hurt. And a couple of them shots were starting to rock him, time, and then boom, nice clash. And then he found that confidence. You cut someone, you see blood. His style, he wants to bring that confidence with him. So, like I said, I'm proud of the kid, man. And like I told him in the ring, and obviously I hope Eddie does more business with the kid. But either way, I'm going to help the kid. If it's through Ferocious Promotions, if it's working together in my gym, if it's sponsoring and supporting him, I think the kid deserves that. And like I said, credit to Australian boxing. That's an Australian champion fighting a former undisputed champion, and we showed up for Sydney today.
George, can I just confirm, I saw your car out the back. Are you telling me you drove to Kudos, fought 12 rounds, and you're just going to drive home? Is that what's going on?
I run my truck today, so yeah. It's all right if I run someone over or go over the garage. So cool, it's cool. I didn't bring my Audi today. Or actually, I got the Mercury as well.
He drove.
I was like, that's
I'm going to drive. I'm going to go get some food and
try to keep it as normal
I'll
as
go
possible.
train tomorrow.
Congratulations on being the new Australian champion.
Do I get that wrong? I won the lightweight, so can I? You know what? Let him hold it. Yeah. Look, there's a difference. We saw it in the first 4 or 5 rounds. He came back strong, and then obviously I continued picking smart shots, and he had some success. So,
it's a good story for Jake because up at Jaya Pataya's fight up in on the Gold Coast there, Steve Diller actually rang me. Steve rang me and he said, "Hey Jim, listen, it would be nice. We know that George is going to fight. It'd be nice to." We get Jake Wyllie down to Sydney and we can do some sparring. And I remember you ringing me and I said to you, you know what, that'll be great sparring, but obviously I hit him up with something else, like your other guy you got with my guy. But the thing is, it's funny how, you hit me up with the sparring and then all of a sudden, Jake's bought tickets to the fight to see George Kambosos, and next thing you know, the guy's in the fight and he's in the middle of the ring fighting George. So it's funny how things kind of go around in full circle. So if we sparred him, how would that have played out? So it's a funny world. The boxing's a funny game. So credit to the young bloke.
Eddie, is the Hitchins fight signed? What needs to happen now?
No, Hitchins is signed because he's under contract for his defence, so he's confirmed. And now we've got to negotiate with George, Jim, and Lou, and we'll give them our finest and best offers, and I'm sure we'll go backwards and forwards, but like I said, that's the date. We want George. That's the reason we signed George, to give him a shot for the world title, do the fight tonight, so hopefully we can find the middle ground and make it happen.
What is the date, Eddie?
June 21. 13 weeks.
Okay, because I've always heard June, but I didn't know exactly what the specific.
There's a chance it could be 28, but June 20. It's 13 weeks tonight, so 2 or 3 weeks.
There's a chance of 28. That'll be nice, huh?
New York.
2 more questions.
Or Vegas.
Thank you.
And you'll be good, George, with the cut?
This is very small. We didn't even get it stitched up, just a bit of glue. But obviously when it landed, there was a lot of blood. I thought, oh shit, this might be to be honest, I thought it might be a Tim Zoo cut. It was pouring everywhere, but come back to the corner and obviously Brian Wilmot and Anton and my father controlled me, and we move on to
one month off, 9-week camp. There you go.
Yeah,
3 weeks off.
Well, that's what I told the doctor. I said, what do we need now with this cut and the glue? And he said, look, 4 weeks no contact whatsoever. And then obviously I did hit June 22. I started on the calendar and going right 4 weeks. Okay, that still gives us a really good window if you go 22.
6 weeks is fine.
We'd like a better window if you go 28. You know, but the thing is, the doctor said 4
take less
weeks.
money for 28, Jim.
Mate, I'm happy to negotiate.
It's going to be a long negotiation.
George, thanks so much for Sydney for tonight and everything that you've been doing.
Thanks, everyone.
And we thank everyone from Sydney. I want to thank personally Eddie Hearn. I mean, I'm sure you've enjoyed your time here in
Great
Sydney.
time, I want to also thank you guys and the Zone, Chris
Yeah,
and TEG. Rachel done a great job.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know, to Bella Entertainment,
Yeah.
you know, Fresh Promotions, TEG, you know, everyone involved behind the scenes. I mean, Chrissy, you know, Nikki, Alana.
Oh, no.
You know,
You know,
yeah,
he was waiting for a
I'll get there.
shout out.
You
He
know,
looked very sad
Shelley,
there.
everyone involved. I mean,
And I also want to thank Steve Della
yes, yeah, for
and
taking
Jake,
the fight.
because
yeah.
that's like,
The World Surfing League too.
yeah, thank you.
It takes a lot of work to put an event like this together. A lot of work, as you know. I mean, you're the number one
And I
promoter
also
in the
want to
world.
say thank you to His Excellency Turkey
Yes.
Sheikh that sponsored tonight and the last Oppa Tyre fight, which enables us to do these shows. So.
Eddie, just a quick one. Tiara Brown's fight. What'd you make
I
of
thought it could have gone either way, to be honest with you. I thought when I've got to say, I've just seen the scorecards. I thought Phil Austin's card was disgusting. He gave Tiara Brown the last 5 rounds. I mean, Sky definitely won 9. I thought 10 as well. But it's a 6-4 fight. Like, I just felt when it was a split and you're over to the Australian judge and it's 97-93, you go, we got it. But I don't think anyone won that fight 97-93. It was a pure 6-4 fight either way. I thought she could have edged it, but tonight was Tiara Brown's fight. I don't think Sky was at her best. She's got a box much better than that. I think she could beat that girl easy. But tonight belongs to Tiara Brown and George Kambosos and others as well. And another night in the office.
Maybe they can do the rematch on
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
undercard.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a cracking rematch.
Right, well, thanks very much.
Thank you.